gorgeous ones, how are we? Just after 5:30. I'm of course late, but you know, late, what is it? Late is better than not at all, something like that. As you know, we are the queens of perfect, not perfection, no, progress, not perfection. God, I'm even getting my metaphors mixed up. And in my thing, you know, done is better than perfect. So late is better than not turning it up at all. As you'll see here, I've got this lovely patch of avocado slapped onto my apron, and part of the reason I'm late over there, what you guys can't see, is my thermi, and I was inventing a new recipe, which is a mixture of about 5 different types of chocolate mousse, some of which involved an avocado, and just as I scooped it out of with the spoon, it went flip. So then I'm madly scraping it and putting it in. But anyway, I can't believe I'm actually making 2 desserts tonight when I rarely eat desserts. But I came across this recipe and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And it's apple crumble. You may have tried it. It's using zucchini as the apple. Hello, gorgeous. Hello, Annette. Hello, Robin. So anyway, I thought I'd give it a crack. How hard can it be? And one of the things I was thinking is that you could use it and use all those Christmas spices that I know some people are worried about. You know, in the mince, you know, the mince tart, the polarizing mince tart that either makes people love or hate Christmas. So I'm just going to use cinnamon because I'm not a multidisciplinary spice user, but you could certainly use lots of spices. So part of the inspiration for this was that I reached into the bottom of my very deplete looking crisper to find some decidedly non-crispy looking zucchini. So there's about 500 grams here. That was my one job I did before I started with you guys. I pre-weighed. So you do peel them. So for this, I mean, I've never peeled a zucchini in my life because normally I wouldn't bother. But for this thing where zucchini is like the fake apple, you do peel it. So that's all right. I thought, well, I've got this incredibly sharp peeler because it's barely used since we don't peel potatoes or anything anymore. So why don't I give it a crack? So basically we start with 500 grams of whatever quality zucchini you like. And I'm telling you, this is on its last legs. It did need to be used probably 3 days ago, but it's actually peeling up all right. It's not that, it's you know when your vegetables get a bit limp. Hello Liz, how are you, gorgeous? It is a bit limp, but it's perfectly fine for this fake apple crumble. Now, one of the reasons, as you know, I am a big believer in asking yourself whether food is helpful or unhelpful. And of course, on low carb, there are plenty, gazillions of recipes that do baking, that do sweets, that do desserts. And the majority of the time, I find these unhelpful for me because I do have trouble regulating. And it's not, for me, as you know, I talk about this a lot, I would rather have a peaceful mind and not eat the blah blah, chocolate brownie or whatever, than have to sit there with my brain negotiating with me about the pan of brownies that are in the fridge. So bear that in mind. If you are one of those people, making lots of desserts is probably not going to help you. Now they reckon you need to take out the pips, but I'm not going to bother. Seriously, I don't want to make anything harder than it has to be. I'm just chopping these into some sort of chunk. Maybe taking out the pip makes it a little more apple-like. I'm not sure. So I'm doing, actually I might just peel that one a little bit more. As you know, I like rough and ready, rustic, but really, probably don't need big chunks of green zucchini in them. How's everyone doing anyway? How are you all going? Christmas partying. Has anybody had many? Oh, good, Maria. Yes, I like that attitude too. Has anybody have many of you had Christmas gatherings yet? Office parties, school breakups, any of that sort of stuff? And how are you all going? Good. I'll wait for you all to madly type while I just tidy up this slightly sad looking dude. Now the original recipe, I'm halving it, which is like, again, the opposite of what I normally do. I'm happy to halve it. 2 reasons. 1, it's a dessert and I don't want it hanging around. And 2, I only had 500 grams of zucchini. So, you know, you have to work with what you've got. I realised when I looked in my cupboard today that I have no food. Does this happen to other people? You have no food. So basically I'm just going to I melted some butter beforehand. That was my another bit of pre-prep. I got out the zucchinis and weighed them and I melted some butter. So I'm just going to put a tablespoon of butter into my little pan. I don't even have a proper measure. I'm happy just to use a dessert spoon. Roughly 2 dessert spoons is about a tablespoon. Just fling it in, doesn't matter. Oh, show and tell. Did anyone order their mingle and get this gigantic box? How cute is it? This arrived, I get all my deliveries to work because we live in the country and my postman doesn't deliver. And there's two problems for me. One is that quite often I can't get to the post office during post hours, but actually the biggest problem is I can't carry boxes. And sadly, he won't help me out. So I get them delivered to work, and that way there's always somebody there, and I don't have to deal with my nasty pasty postman. So yes, I love that sort of thing. A little sort of colourful box just made my day. Yes, you got your mingle last week too, Marilyn. I know. Yep, plenty of food than empty. Yes. So anyway, I've got I need to put this on. I'm wondering why it's not heating up. So I've got the dregs of the veggies in the bottom of the thingy. Here's something beeping. I've no idea what that is. Oh, it's this thing. Check pan. Oh, I know. Bear with me a second, darlings. I've put a pan on that it doesn't go with induction. I'll just grab my other pan. There we go. You can stop screaming at me now. I'll just fling that over there. So yes, it's exciting to get little presents. Oh, you thought it was a pressure cooker, Liz? Yeah, well, I'm looking like, what the hell is beeping at me? I've got it on and it's turned on, and then I realised, yeah, that's a new pan. Remember I was telling you about my cast iron pan and how I burn the crap out of everything that I put in it, and it's super heavy, and I already have enough dramas with heavy stuff. So I've just got my crappy old, small chef's toolbox one that'll probably also stick stuff, but at least it's not heavy. Okay, so basically I'm just going to wait that for a second to heat up, put in these little thingies, and then put in my spices and wait for that to mix. So that's easy. So again, I couldn't even find a proper measurer, but I thought, oh, well, that doesn't matter. I've got this thing. My spice is stuck down the bottom. There we go. So some butter, I don't know, teaspoon of cinnamon. If you want, as I said, if you want to swap it and put some allspice and nutmeg and cloves in it, give it a slightly Christmassy feel, go for it. There is, now I've got some old packet of Sucre Gold hanging around, which I probably should check the use by. Yes, used by quite a while ago, but I don't care, it'll be fine. But you can use this stuff, you can use the brown monk fruit. Oh, did you see that? That was a dance move. Anyway. Ah, it's working again. Hooray, hooray. Sometimes I'm so, oh yeah. Oh, you've all dropped out. Did it stop recording? Is that what happened? Anyway, doesn't matter. You can watch it all on something or other. And as I said, I'm going to put it up on. So Christmas, remember, we say this a lot, but there is no scarcity around Christmas. If you want to make fake mince pies with the zucchini and whatever your favourite spicy mix are, you can. You do it all year round. So you don't have to feel like you have to eat these products because it's Christmas time and because they're in the supermarket. And one of the things I really want you to be thinking about is the post-Christmas sales. Because what happens? All the mince tarts, all the kind of pseudo-Christmas food gets put on special. And then our brain goes, oh, but it's so cheap. And it wants to eat it. We all do that, it's normal. They love it, that's how marketing works. It's so cheap, our brain goes. It's a bargain. And interestingly, here's some news. Buying a bargain releases dopamine in exactly the same way that, that sugar does. So just be mindful of that little sneaky trick. So I'm going to say that again. Buying a bargain, getting a bargain. We all love a bargain, of course we do. But it releases dopamine in the same way that eating sugar does. So just beware that that's why you want to do it. That's why. It's not, it's not because you're hopeless or anything. It's just another dopamine trick. Hi, Mum. I can see my mum's watching. Hello. All right, so this is going to be the crumbly bit. Now it needs to, obviously to get to crumble, you have to mix something in it. So remember, I've got a bit of that sucrin, or you can buy the monk fruit brown one, which you can just buy at the supermarkets now. It's got some almond meal, it's got some coconut flour, and I'm going to clean, I need to use up a few things. So this is just some old coconut flakes that are floating around. I don't know, whatever was in there, that packet needs to go. And then you just put this in. Just going to turn this little baby down. And then I'm just going to mix that around. Good. So I want you to be, what I'm going to do, and anybody who has no food in the house, after you have finished watching this, I am going to go and do an online shop, because that's basically how I'd get my food. I always do online as much as I can, because then I'm not tempted by remember their displays in the supermarket, it's all designed to get you in. Now that's the crumble, like that, how easy is that? So that's going to be the crumble. Probably could have chopped up a couple of these pecans a bit finer, but it's all fine. It's all fine. I think I told you guys I've recently changed. I used to do Coles online all the time. I'm just changing to Woolies, mainly because they have more mingle, and I wanted my mingle. Although I just bought a whole pile on the sale, so I probably don't need any for ages. And they also don't have the chili sauce. Has anyone tried the chili sauce? Was that cucumber? No, it's zucchini. It's zucchini, and it's called fake. It's not called fake apple pie. It is called apple crumble, but it's zucchini. And I used 500 grams, and you peel it. And you look in the recipe. They did say to cut the seeds out, but I couldn't be asked doing that. So I'm just cooking it as it is, and it's almost there. I'm just waiting for it to soften. Mingle sweet chili is amazing, good, because I really want to use that with those chicken balls that I made last week. Now, I'm going to blow my own trumpet for anybody that didn't watch last week's cooking show on the chicken cheesy chicken balls. They're in my top 5, along with the salmon patties and along with the egg mousse. Now, speaking of egg mousse, so part of my job before I decide to go and order more food is to go and look in the fridge and see what needs using up. So we had a couple of avocados, and I had some eggs that were kind of on the borderline. So part of the reason I was late, apart from wrestling avocados that are now all over my thing, was that I decided to invent a new chocolate mousse recipe. So it's over in the thermi, it just needs one more whiz. If it works, I'll let you guys know. But basically I did 5 boiled eggs, 2 avocados, a quarter of a cup of cacao or cocoa, and half a cup of sweetener, and about nearly 600 mils of cream. And it's just whipped itself up. I'll go and have a look at it in a minute. I sort of put it on. It's so noisy, I didn't want it to keep going while we're chatting. Seriously, dudes, this looks good. Move that out of the way. So that really, but that looks real. It looks really good. Smells good. Hopefully it tastes all right. It's a bit hot to taste. It's a bit like toffee. Love fake apple crumble. Good. Clara, you've made it before? AM have a sweet chili sauce called Light, but it's quite low carb and yummy. Oh, good to know, Lee. Good to know, because I do, that's probably one of the things that I did used to like a lot, is sweet chili sauce. Of course I liked it, it's full of sugar. Okay, so now you could, if you wanted to, you could put this in a oven-proof bowl, or you could put it in some little ramekins. I, of course, could find neither of those in my scramble to get tonight. So I'm just putting it in a couple of these. These bowls will be heat-proof. And then this is going into, this is going to be too much for me. But anyway, I'll put more in his. So I'm just making 2 serves. You could probably make, you could easily make 3 out of that. The actual recipe was for a kilo, if you remember, a kilo of zucchini, but I didn't have a kilo. So now what I'm going to do is just get my little crumble, sprinkle a bit of that on. A bit stuck on the spoon. I reckon this would be really good with macadamias. I don't mind the odd pecan, but I think it would be really good. Oh, now the other thing's decided to have a tantrum. A really good close-up of me. But that's basically it. So, in a bowl, I've got the crumble, I've got the fake, you know, the fake zucchini / apple saucy mixture, which looks amazing. Now, if you can, guys, want to wait 5 seconds, I'm just going to grab my mousse because it's over here and I want to show you it. Okay, this is the great taste test of the egg, avocado and cream chocolate mousse. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Okay. Could probably, I reckon, what I'll do is I reckon I'll whip it, after I've had a little taste with you guys, I'm gonna whip it a bit more because I would like it to be firmer, you know, so that it does, you turn the spoon over and it just sits there. Bloody beautiful. All right, lovelies. That's it for me tonight. Did a lot more cooking. Didn't do much conversations. I hope you're all well. And I'm sorry that, you know, at some stage Facebook decides to put it all on pause for a bit. But I will see you all next week. And then Mary and I are having a break between Christmas and New Year, so I won't be around that stage. And I'll see how I'm traveling in January. But there you go. There's 2 separate little desserty things. I'll put the recipe up for this new alternate. I don't know how many ways you can do chocolate mousse, but bloody a lot, obviously. Maybe I could write a book. 50 ways to do mousse. That'd be fun. Anyway, I will see you all next week. Bye, lovelies.